Hey everyone, have I here been a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our full breakdown and some fun little team builds for the LR Carnival featured Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And I'll tell you what, this unit here, when it previewed, I was really hyped about it for the part 2 LRs, and probably as hyped as I was for Old Blue Eyes, Evolution Vegeta, same goes here. And I was like, okay, hopefully this guy doesn't disappoint me. But let's go ahead and dive into the details first with the card arts. And I'll tell you what, I think these are the best SSR and TUR card arts out of the bunch, out of all the 10-year anniversary units. Again, that's just my opinion here. I do love the kind of beat up battle damage look. The gold and purple effects look incredible. But there is a little something to me being an OG of Dokkan here, is remembering way back when in the most recent EZA unit, the EZA Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the first ever LR that was technically not on a LR banner, that was STR Broly. But this was the hidden amongst the unfeatured, one of the hardest units to get probably ever in Dokkan. But I do miss a little bit of the clean look of Super Saiyan Gohan here in the SSR art. But anyway, I do love both of these. I think they look incredible. Let's go ahead and look at one of the best, if not the best, top 10 here. This goes along with the Gogeta card art. Yeah, that Cell in the background, Goku in the background, it is incredible looking. The animated version of this is also top tier. So I'm just gonna say it right now, the card arts here, 10 out of 10 in terms of SSR, TUR, and LR. I don't think it can even look even better. So now let's go ahead and dive into some of the details here. The details is that it's on a lot of categories. As we know, Gohan, especially Cell games, Gohan is on a ton of categories here. You have Cell Saga, you have Exploding Rage, you have Battle of Fates on here. So a lot of teams that this unit can help out, but also there's a lot of teams here where you're kind of figuring out where this unit can actually fit in. So we'll talk about that in the team builds. The stats here, this is a physical unit here. The stats is a whopping 23,575 for HP, which is fantastic. Anything over 20,000 is what you're looking for. So this is very high here. 2,700. I think this is the exact same thing as Gogeta in terms of attack, and then 13.5 for defense. A little bit underwhelming in my opinion, because you're looking for closer to 15,000 these days in especially LRs. We're seeing now like TURs getting up to this high amount here. So, but ultimately still solid stats. So looking at the unit overall here, let's look at the leader skill. Leader skill being surprise for me. I didn't think that it would be full power. We haven't had a full power leader that was relevant. Technically, the 9th anniversary Broly was a full power leader, but you weren't really running. You're running more movie bosses or super bosses than anything else. But yeah, having a full power keep us for 220%. This is gonna hopefully revive this category a little bit more, and you do have some solid options. Again, we'll talk about that in the team builds here. So 12 key super attack raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes cost of damage to enemy, and lowers defense. And then the 18 key greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, and then mega colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. It would have been nice to see a little bit of stacking, because of course the Kamehameha leader AGL Super Saiyan Gohan, he does stack, so it would be nice to see a little bit of that. Now you do have interest animation, where as long as they're another full power or Android Cell Saga category ally on the same team, you get this additional boost on here. Now, is it necessary, right? This is probably one of the interest animations that technically isn't overly necessary, right? It launches additional attack, has a medium chance of becoming super attack, up to 5 times within a turn, and launches 2 additional super attacks for 4 turns. You can do quite a bit of damage, but I think you know, it's still a workable unit without it, but just it's really good with it. So, but it's not like a defensive mechanic or something where he's like, okay, you have 30% damage mitigation if you don't have this turned on. So just kind of keep that in mind. But generally speaking, if you're going to be running this as a leader, you're going to have full power on for everybody. So the basic effects here is key +5, attack and defense 258%. So of course you like that additional touch there. Guards against all attacks, that's what I'm always looking for, and damage reduction of 20%. So very strong here at around 30%. You can probably, you know, get away with tanking quite a bit in slot 1 with the 20%. There's few circumstances where slot 1 could be an issue, but generally you can be fine. You can run this in slot 1. It's just not ideal because of course, you know, he can boost up on his defense quite a bit more, but still can handle a majority, not all of it, but majority of the end game content. 158% attack to when attacking, and then for every attack performed, so this is kind of where the build up comes in, key +5 or key +1 up to 5 for every attack performed, and then 80% boost for attack and defense. So 8 times you want to attack. This is where this can come in handy, but again, ultimately you can still slot this in a random location and you should be fine. So receiving attack, there's 158 to defense, and then starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn, attack 158%, defense 58% up, and then when attacking with 18 key or more, you get this boost here, and then performs a critical hit when the active skill is activated or when key is 24. So once you build up here, it should be very easy to get to key 24, but yeah, pretty solid there. Then here's your active skill. It can be activated when there's another Kamehameha category ally on the team and starting from the 5th turn, or when facing one enemy whose HP is 89% or less. Very weird on the number there, starting from the 5th turn. So basically in the 5th turn, there's opportunity for you to do this active skill here. Massively raises attack temporarily and then causes ultimate damage to enemy, and key +24, which would then boost everything here. And then attack 58% for 1 turn. So really strong damage that he can provide in this active skill here, kind of like a finishing attack, you know, if you're at that last stage after the 5th turn. So link skills here: Super Saiyan Warrior Race, Kamehameha, Prepare for Battle, Shocking Speeds, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. So very solid link skills there. Not going to be an issue when you're going to be running other units on here. So let's go ahead and then now move on with the links. So interestingly enough, you do link up very well with these units here. Of course, you have the AGL Super Saiyan 1 Gohan that of course transforms into Super Saiyan 2. The newly EZA, which I don't have the EZA slot here, of Super Saiyan Goku, the Brolys, and then when Family Kamehameha goes a standby, then he has that 6 link ability on there. But there's actually one unit that I actually like running the unit with more, and that's actually LR34, because again, you're gonna start building up Super Saiyan 2's defense. You have the guard, you have a little bit of damage mitigation, but of course LR34, he supports and beefs up defense for Power Beyond Super Saiyan, which Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is. So I do like running, anytime I get the opportunity to run this unit here together, or these units together, it's really beneficial. However, this is kind of a caveat to this: he's not on full power. so it could cause some issues in terms of running the right units, activating the interest animation, stuff like that. So you got to watch out for what teams that you're going to be running on. And I wish this was on full power, but it's not on full power. So just do watch out if you are going to be running this combination, which I do like this combination. So let's talk about teams here, because details is not as long as the Super Gogeta or Super Vegito. So this, of course, is the full power category, 220%, key +4. As you can see here, you do have some options to run. For example, like Beast Gohan is going to be your best bet in that first position on there. I did put in the Int Super Saiyan Goku. I think he's fine in most events there. Again, you could run this unit in first position if you wanted to, if you had to. there's not much support on full power, to be honest. I was kind of looking at what our options and have Broly here as an option. And it's fine running as a floater with Kamehameha Gohan, but you can't run it like here, because what happens then is the damage mitigation goes away and he's going to take too much damage because there's extreme class. You need to be all super class. So it's the flow of this team isn't, I would say, as good as some others. So if you don't want to run it like this, you could run Evolution Vegeta on main rotation up front, and then run the other Evolution Vegeta as a floater. So this is an option you can run here as well. Or if you don't want to bring the Kamehameha Gohan on here, you can say, okay, I rather have a more more worry less slot 1, right? So you bring Broly. So bring Broly in slot 1. You bring Beast Gohan in slot 1 on the second rotation. Gohan then is on the second rotation there. They link fairly well, like I mentioned before. The Broly's link fine, right? Especially when he transforms, which of course that's generally turn 1. Beast Gohan's fine with the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and you can just kind of run whatever floaters you want to run down below. I do have both Evolution Vegetas on here, and then Goku and Frieza, but you can run it with some other units on here as well. I don't know if you want to bring the other Broly. I'll show you a team that you could run it that way. Could you even run like LROP on this team? Possibly, right? Possibly. But also your bench strength is very limited as well. So keep that in mind in terms of building teams for full power. You don't have a large bench. Now, if certain units EZA, like the Kaioken Goku, I believe like Super Saiyan 4s are on here for full power. Some of these other ones, once they EZA, this team might be moving on up in terms of best teams rankings. So here's kind of the oddball team that you can run here. Again, these are all full power, so Gohan's entrance animation will activate. But you're running the Gohan as floaters, and then you're going to be running Broly in the main rotation, and then Frieza in the second rotation. And then the new EZA cell, the Super EZA cell, can be a floater on there. He likes orbs, so being a floater is a little bit tough sometimes, and getting orbs correctly positioned, being a kind of a nuking unit on there. But you can run some other extreme class units on here as well. So very interesting build that you can run. Not probably ideal because you're not going to link all that great. Actually, the Brolys you can link actually pretty good, but with Frieza, of course, that's not going to link up well at all. So if you want to run more of a super class version of this is what it looks like here. Again, you can just maybe possibly bring the Vegeta up here as well. So super class is kind of fun. Like I mentioned before, if we can EZA this guy and he can be in first position, that can also help out as well. So not too sure when this is going to happen, or of course when the 7-year anniversary, possibly in part 3, sooner than later, is what we really want to happen. And then finally, just the overall team here. If you want to run Gohan in the floater position, but then also run the Brolys and Family Kamehameha, this is kind of the rotations you're going to have to do, because of course he can't be rotating over here, especially on standby. So this case here, you're running all Super Saiyan 2 Gohans as floaters, even the EZA on here as well. This is actually a fun team to run. If you get the rotations right, it's just going to do quite a bit of damage overall. So very fun team to run. Let's go ahead and discuss now out of Gohan being the leader, because generally I just do the team builds with him as a leader as well. I'm just going to cover a few other teams that I would maybe recommend you might use Gohan on. The first one, of course, is going to be the Battle of Fate, Goku and Frieza here, and this is when you're actually going to see me run the LR34 with the Gohan here. And again, I think this is a really, really nice setup here, especially with the defensive boost that LR34 gives to Gohan. Not, I guess, the ideal team, and Goku and Frieza here is a floater, as a leader floater, but then Beerus does help here as well. Of course, you can run Beerus in first position, but again, this is a little bit different than what what you might run for ideal, right? So another team, of course, that you want to run is, and you want to use on the team here, is Earth Protecting Hero Super Vegito team. However, you're like, okay, I'm not going to move, Vegito out of main rotation, right? And of course, we have Gogeta here as well, so it gets kind of crowded on this team, where Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is either going to be like a, if you have a non-support team here as just a floater, and generally not here in first position. Now, I guess you could, if you don't have Gotenks on here, you might maybe run them here, but again, you might have the other combination. You just don't know where to put them. This team is just stacked like crazy on here. Now, if you want to go with the Kamehameha team, this again is the question here. Do you want to replace Gotenks with the Gohan here? I actually rather have Gotenks, so this might be like something like this instead without a support unit, because you're not going to want to mess up this rotation up here either. So again, problematic in terms of, okay, where do I put this unit here? Yeah, if you don't have LRGGT and I don't want to support these, I might put him here to provide some more damage. Speaking of LRGGT, you can run him on that team there as well. Again, still the same problem. Now you have not the Vegito Gogeta combination. It's Gogeta here and Vegito here. You're like, okay, do I put him in first position? Can I, if I don't have Vegito, I put him in this position here. You have LRGGT just beefing up everybody here. You can take Bulma out and maybe use them as an additional floater. So a lot of options there. So it could look something more like this, which could actually work. And in a sense, Vegito is running at only 170%, not 220 or anything of that fashion. Here's where you do have to figure out is do we have a full power unit on here, right? So you want to make sure you have a full power. This one we have a full power unit. This one, I don't know if we have a full power unit on here. LRGGT, is LRGGT a full power unit? Got to double check on there. So again, that's where you might miss a few additional super attacks, right? Quite a few actually. You do quite a bit. It is beneficial, but let me see here. What am I looking for? I'm looking for full power. And is LRGGT on here? LRGGT is not on full power. So yeah, you would have to bring someone else here for it to work, because Super Saiyan Goku was the one that helped out here. Yeah, maybe this one might not work very well. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the last team I want to take a peek at here, and that's, again, Glorio's team is surprisingly just versatile. Demonic power, and then you have this Battle Wits and Accelerated Battle, where I do have to put a down arrow because he's not Dragon Ball Seekers, so let me put a down arrow on Gohan. So you can run something like this, or maybe switch it up even here, and have that combination like I mentioned before with LR34. So this is no problem because Beast Gohan is full power here, so not an issue there. But this is an issue here where I just thought, okay, maybe I have to put this guy here somewhere because he's full power. So anyway, with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed all of this here. If you are new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning, and we will catch you next time. Later.